Hey guys, Steven, TheSalonGuy here, and today I've got a brand new video, and this is going to be a step-by-step, in-depth tutorial on making over this lovely haircut here and creating what I think is going to be a hot trend for women's haircuts in 2017. So I'm ready to go. Let's get started. Let's start out with taking a look at what we have first. Now, I've cut this in a previous haircut. It's a beautiful kind of, nice layered haircut. It's got that great shape. To me, this is a beautiful, beautiful haircut that's never going to go out of style. But, I want to see something completely different, something very cute, something fun, something very kind of wearable, and just like an everyday kind of look that a woman can feel great and look great in. So here's what we're dealing with as far as the length. And let's take a look at what we're going to do and how we're going to reshape this. So we're going to bring up the length probably to about right here. So it's a little bit longer than the lob, like the long bob. So right about the base of the neck area, right in through here. So we're not going super, super short, but we're not going, super long either. So kind of right around this area as far as the length. We're going to keep some nice layers in through here and kind of work this all in, create a nice balanced shape, but we're going to go really, really heavy on the fringe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually really soften the fringe up so it's not so heavy. So we're going to create a new shape that's going to be a little bit of a longer, messy fringe, loosen it up a little bit and take out a lot of the weight and just create some fun, nice layers. Let's get this haircut started. And what we're going to do first is we're going to section the hair. And the sectioning really, is key because it's mapping out the entire haircut. Now, this haircut is going to be relatively simple and somewhat basic. So if you're a beginner watching this, this is going to be really, really good for you. And even if you're advanced, this is going to be great for you. It's all about creating that new shape. And everyone might have a different approach. I try to share my knowledge. And the key is to if you can take one thing away from this haircut, it makes me happy. And please let me know in the comments, if there's one thing that you really got out of this, then it would make my day, honestly. What I'm doing is I'm creating kind of 4 panels, a simple sectioning pattern. The division point is right here. It separates the front and the back. And it's really essential to understand that these are 2 separate parts, 2 separate areas of the head. And that's why this is called a division point, because it's dividing the front and the back. So it keeps you really focused into here, and this is a key area as well when cutting. So you do want to separate those. And to make it a little bit easier, you can also clip this out of the way. Just take a nice clip here and bam, you have it sectioned, and do the same thing on the other side. I usually don't use clips, to be honest with you, when I'm cutting, unless it's like really, really long hair. Then I'll use clips, but for the most part, I'm just generally like pushing the hair out of the way, which you'll probably see me do for the back part. So we're going to start and keep this really, really simple. We're going to start in the very back nape right here. And we're going to just create a section right down the middle in the back of the head. We're going to push this out of the way. And we're going to take 2 sections, one on this side. And this is to establish our length. All right, establishing the length is the key to this haircut. And I learned this many, many years ago, is that if you have a solid baseline for the haircut, you really can't go wrong. I mean, you can obviously through up here with the layers, but a good base is the foundation of the haircut. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut a 1-length shape. And again, I mentioned we're going to cut somewhere around like the neck area right in through here. So we can do this a few ways. We can literally come in like this, palm to palm, and cut a straight line straight across. You can also literally cut with no tension whatsoever. And remember, we're not going to go too far into the sides. We're just creating our base right in through here. Or you can use your comb as a guide. Comb it straight down, no tension whatsoever. We're going to comb a little back towards us this way. We're not going to overextend because we want to keep that corner. Keeping the corner is very, very important anytime you're cutting back here. You want to keep that corner. I tend to cut generally with little to no tension. It really depends on the shape, but this is a really, really simple way to guarantee a good solid straight line is really no tension whatsoever. So now we're going to comb, and I'm combing with the fine teeth of the comb, which is this part right here. Combing it straight down, and again, no tension whatsoever, and I'm literally freehanding this length right in through here. We're going to comb back towards us a little bit and straight across like that. Same thing on this side. Now I'm going to use the comb just a little bit, and we're going to cut straight across. So this really ideally is creating your foundation of the haircut. And I always start in the back. For the most part, I start in the back. And now, as you can see what I'm doing, instead of coming this way, I turn my hand over like this, and I'm cutting across going like that. So comb that straight down. We'll take one last section, and we'll finish off this section the same way we've been doing it, and then believe it or not, we will be done with our length in the back. So this is a fairly simple technique. And the key to no tension is, it really sets yourself up for success when creating the shape, because it keeps a nice straight solid line. And I did this training at Vidal Sassoon in London. The straightest haircut I ever cut was literally like this, using a comb, combing it straight down, and creating a one length shape. The straightest haircut ever. And it literally was with no tension. Now, if you want, you can cross-check or double-check by just holding it straight down with your hands and making sure everything is balanced and even, which sometimes they call me uneven Steven instead of even Steven. This time I'm even Steven. So any little hairs that you might see, you can just nip off right there. And now we have a nice solid one length shape right in through here. And this is going to be our length. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work in through the sides. And we simply do that by combing this all straight down. Now, depending on how thick the hair is, it all really depends on you guys. Like, if you need to take two sections or not. I'm literally taking one section because of the amount of hair. It's not too heavy. So for this, we really want to keep a little bit of a more triangular shape, slightly longer right into the front. Triangular shape means it goes shorter and longer. This is the longest point in through here. I just want to keep that extra protection there and that extra hair length on the sides. So that's done. That side is done. That's simple. Now we're going to adjust. You always want to adjust the head, especially when it's a human head. This is easier to move around. She doesn't complain as much. But what you want to do now is make sure you're standing right in front of the area that you're cutting. And again, we're going to I like to take maybe 2 snips, and then I'll stop. Now this is where we angle our fingers, because our fingers, see that? Look, it dictates where the angle is going to go. If we go like this, we're cutting a round shape. This is a pretty much even one length shape. And then this is a bit of a triangular shape because we're going slightly longer. And we're going to cut that right off there. And as you can see, you've got that slight triangular shape in through here, which is exactly what we're looking for. Then you stand in front, and you're going to pull this straight down. And I told you they call me uneven Steven. This side was a little bit longer. It might have been just because of the head shape or the mannequin head. It wasn't even. So all you got to do, go back and make a little tweak to the length. That's it. Straight down, and there it is. Just that little piece right there, which is slightly longer. And now I think we're good to go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to now start to layer everything. I want to leave the fringe for a later period and come back and do this. What I want to do now is create some layering in through here to help soften up the shape. Remember we said we're going to leave a really, really heavy fringe area, or bangs, how we call it here in the United States. So we are going to layer this still, but we're going to like start in the back here, and then we're going to create our foundation as far as the layers go. But then what we're going to do is cut the bangs last. So let's find the high point of the head, which is like the most balanced point, which is right here. If you lay the comb on the head, like so, you can see where like the most balanced point of the head is. And sometimes it could be right, right in through here, it could be back here. So this one, it's about around right here, which is pretty much the top point of the head. And this could be where the starting point of where the bangs are going to start as well. But what we're going to do for this is we are going to use that area to create our first section and our first layer. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going to comb this straight up, and keep in mind, all right, we're not going super short on these layers, but we're creating enough of a shape that it's going to add some volume and some texture to it. All right, so that's the length, that's going to be right there. Everything is parallel, and we're going to cut straight across. This is our guide right here. This is our first section. This is going to be really the whole area and go-to piece for the layers. Now, keep this piece here, all right? You want to keep this piece and know where you've originally cut it, because now what we're going to do is we're going to use that piece to help us. And we're going to take that one section and we're going to come straight across this way in the back. And now we're going to comb this straight up, right in through here. We're going to comb it straight up. We're going to stand right behind this section, right here, and we're going to cut straight across. And what this is doing, it's creating an even, balanced layer, but it's also removing a good amount of weight as well. So we're going to do this probably halfway down the back of the head, because if we lift the hair too much from the back, we're going to like get rid of a lot of weight in the bottom, and I don't want this to be too thin at the bottom. I want it to have a really, really solid base and a solid foundation. We are done with that particular part. Not the bottom, but we're done with that particular layering part, because again, like I said, I don't want to go too low because I want to maintain the thickness on the baseline. So here again is a division point. We're going to do a horizontal slice right in through here. And we could even take a piece from the other side, which we cut, combing it straight up this way. There's the guide, and we're going to cut straight across. Now let's turn this way so you can see. Again, another horizontal slice. We're probably doing, I'd say, 3 horizontal slices, cutting it this way, holding it straight up and cutting it straight across. So we're probably doing 3 sections, depending on the thickness of the hair. If it's really, really fine hair, you only want to take probably like 2 sections, because again, when you lift the hair like this, you're removing a lot of weight, and it's going to really, really loosen up the length on the bottom. So you don't want to do that too much. Whoa, I just lifted the head off the stand. All right, one last piece right here. Make sure you get all this into the section, and we're going to cut straight across, and there we go. We see the guide, and now we're going to connect everything, make sure it's all blended, and there we have it. Now, again, we are not done with the back, so let's raise his head up this way. And what we're going to do, just tighten this mannequin head here. Now we're going to connect, and we're going to blend the layers, because what we did now is we created a shape in the back up to about right in through here, all right, about right in through here, but now we have to connect the whole thing. So what I like to do is I like to go right down in the middle, take a section right down the middle, move all this hair out of the way so you're working with a nice clean area. And now we're going to comb this straight out from the head. We're going to see where there's the length, there's that extra layer right in there that we need to connect, and we're going to simply just cut everything. So what we're doing now is just really, really balancing out the shape. And this is really a great way to cut in general because you really stay so balanced and your layers come out great. Now look at these pieces that fall out. Ready? Watch that. See that? Those pieces? That's the length. You don't want to cut that. That's the solid base that you built. And now all we're doing is working up the head shape to balance this all out. And now it's got a nice seamless layer to it. We're going to take our next section. Again, we're combing straight out from the head, and I'm pulling back to my previous section. Okay, I'm not really over directing a lot, but I'm pulling it straight out this way, a little more towards center. Because as we get into that corner, we want to maintain the length into that corner, which is going to be probably one more section here. Now I'm going to start to over direct back a little bit just to protect that weight. Because, and there's that little bit we have to cut. Because what happens is if we bring this out too much, we're going to cut a hole on the bottom and we're going to make this so thin in that area. So there's our friend, the division point right there. And now here is where we're really going to comb straight back. Now I'm not really over directing back towards the center this way. I'm literally combing it straight back like this to preserve that weight and that length in through here. So we're not creating any holes. And look, not much has to be cut off. See that? Now watch. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to pick up where we left off, and we're going to follow the same pattern. But this time, we're going to comb on top of the section instead of combing underneath it, which means you're pushing away this way. Because on this side, the other side, we were pulling towards us, but now we're going to push away from where we're cutting, which means it's going to help keep the length so we don't cut too much hair. If we pull this towards us, it's going to be uncomfortable for our body position, and two, it's going to it might cause us to cut too much hair. Now I'm using the fine teeth. Well, you can use the fine teeth or the wide teeth, but the fine teeth is what I'm using to cut. The wide teeth you can use to actually just section. So now I'm just combing it. You can comb underneath if you want, but the last final piece should be on top of the section. Then take a nice little vertical slice going down that way, and there's that little bit that needs to be cut. Again, we're connecting everything, making sure it's all blended. And now our last piece, which is right here, take a nice little slice there. My first comb is underneath just to get any tangles out. And now look, I'm combing, there's the ear. I'm combing straight back and cutting off that little bit right there. Same thing here, push it straight out. We're pushing away from where we're cutting. And there is that little area we need to cut. And now we're just going to connect everything, make sure it's all blended in, and we're good to go. So what I like to do now is I like to do a little bit of cross-checking just to make sure it's all balanced and even. And the way I go about doing that is I'll actually pull the hair opposite of how I cut it. So now I'm coming in on kind of slight diagonal sections, and I'm just literally combing it straight out this way, almost like the opposite. And what that's going to do is it's really going to, if any hair is longer, it'll kind of be obvious, like right there, okay? We're just tidying this up, making sure it's all even and that everything looks good. You can hold it straight out from the head if you want, just as long as it's all connected and all balanced. Same thing on this side. And don't be afraid to like cross-check. The more you put into your work, the better it's going to be, you know? And honestly, especially if you're new watching this, like new to my channel or just new to hairstyling in general or hair cutting, I cut hair to grow out, all right? That is the real difference of a really, really good, talented hairstylist that cuts, you know, their haircuts last. I cut to grow out, which means I take all the extra time to these little steps. I book an hour for a woman's haircut. Sometimes I go a little bit over, but all these extra steps are really what's going to contribute to your success so that the haircut grows out well. Because when they come back in 2 months later or even 3 months, you know, it all depends on the hair length. But I have people that come in 2 months later or a month and a half and their hair they look good coming in. You know, you want your clients to look good coming in. There's actually one time, this is a funny story, I had a client of mine sit down, all right? She sat in my chair, and she goes, wow, my hair looks pretty good. And I said, it does look really good. Go home. I actually kicked her out of my chair because her hair looked so damn good, I didn't want to cut it. So I said, go home. I actually sent her home and took the hit on the haircut because I was like, you know what, like, it's not about really making the money right now. Your hair looks so good, I don't want to touch it. So she came in like a month later after that. So let's take a look now, all right? The whole back is done. Look at this shape. It's got gorgeous seamless layers. The key to layers is, look, I comb it straight down. Look at that. When you can comb the hair straight down and see nothing, even though the whole thing is layered, you don't see a thing. But watch, I'm going to hold this. When you shake the hair, look at that. See the movement? Look at all that's layered. That is how you create beautiful layers, folks. All right? At least the way I do it. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to lower this down a little bit, and we're going to work in through this area. Remember, this has to be connected and blended in. Remember, we are going to cut this, but you can't have bangs here on the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the shape this way, and I'm going to stand right here so you can see. So now we're cutting towards the face, and I'm going to cut this straight across. There we go, straight across. Let me lower this mannequin head a little bit. I'm going to take another section, and we're going to cut towards the face. What this is doing, guys, is it's blending the back in through the top and also the corners. All right, there we go. Now we're going to stop when we get to that corner because we're not cutting the sides yet. We're going to change positions, our body position completely. All right, that's good right there. So we now have this panel done. All right, this panel right in through here is finished. Look at this. Now, what we're going to do is, look at that. This is the corner. We have to cut these corners. Hold it straight out from the head. And what we're going to do is we're going to preserve the length by combing it straight out from the head. See all that hair dropping? Let that hair drop. Do not cut that hair because that is the length. You don't want to like disturb that length. Here we go. Same thing. Now you start to see the hair that needs to be cut. Now we're going to connect and hold on to this piece. See how I'm holding on to that? I'm holding on to that piece so I know where my guide is. All right, that's what's great about, you know, your hands is that they're your best tool, really. So you hold on to that piece. Next section, right here in the front, we'll probably do 2 more. Here's where we're going to see a lot of hair coming off. A lot of hair is going to come off right in through here. So we're going to overextend, overdirect back towards us a little bit, this is all going to come off in the front. But this shape right in through here, we can still keep that triangular shape. Just right now, see, there's that length. That triangular shape just dropped out, which is a good thing. Last section right in the front, we're just removing the weight that sits on top of it, which is all this right here. And remember, we're going to cut that. So let's bring that out, and just a little bit right there. This is the magic of all this. Look at how this looks. If I can just get the damn mannequin. Look, we kept the triangular shape. We kept the shape right in through here, going this way. Now obviously this is all dry and this is wet, but you can see we kept that triangular shape all the way through, which is what we're aiming for. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we have to copy what we just did. So I'm going to stand in front of the client or the mannequin head. So you want to be standing in front of your client, and that looks good. We're going to take the bottom section, let that length fall out, and there is all the hair that needs to be cut, right here. There's all the hair. So if you don't see anything, that means don't cut it. You don't have to cut. If you're not cutting anything, then you're like doing really, really good. You know, it's when you're like cutting like loads and loads of hair is when you're like, you have to really stop and go, uh-oh, why am I cutting so much hair? Hold on to that section right here. And one last section right down into here. There's the length, there's that triangular shape, and we're just going to balance that out right there. And then the last part on the very front on this side, comb it again, straight out like this. I'm pushing away this way, and this is where a lot of the hair is going to come off right into here. It's even though we're cutting the bangs, it really, by doing this, it really sets up the whole haircut to make sure it really has that core foundation. That whole core foundation is really key to the whole thing. Now, let's take a look at this haircut, what we've done. So let's raise the mannequin head up so you can see a good view. I'm going to put my scissors down, and for all you guys who don't see me, I have a scissor pouch right here. This is my scissor pouch. I wear this when I cut hair. This is actually the least amount of shears I usually have. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs and 2 razors. But yeah, this is my scissor pouch that I carry around when I work on clients. And I can also put my comb in there as well. This is what the haircut looks like now. Let's comb this all straight down. To here. Let's check the length. All right, there we go. One side, I think it's, I don't know. They call me Uneven Steven. I think this side's a little bit longer. I don't know, but this one feels longer. That's right, I think this is a little bit longer here. I don't know, let's see. Yeah, this one's still a little bit longer. So, how do we solve that problem? Comb it and cut it. Look at it, comb it, and it's better to have it longer than shorter, okay? And there we go, now it's even. Now we're even Steven. The haircut's done as far as the shape. Look at this beautiful, fun, sexy shape, all right? We've got a little bit of length there. You've got some really, really fun layers. You can wear this smooth. You can flip it out. You can get lots of volume in it. But here is the part we've all been waiting for. Top of the head. Where is it? There it is, right there. The flat part of the head. Right here. This is where we're going to create the bangs. And this is where we're going to comb everything forward, coming down this way. We're going to comb everything coming towards the face like this. And whatever hair separates, like you want to go probably like the corner of the eyebrow. So if all this hair falls out of the section, and if you go like this, if you push, see the hair splits? That's where the hair wants to separate, is where the natural parting is right here. The hair will actually split for you, so it tells you exactly where it needs to cut. Now, obviously, this is a mannequin head, so it's going to be different on a human, but this is a good kind of gist of it. So you push the hair, and it actually will separate and split for you. But I usually like to go towards like the corner of the eyebrow is where I like to cut my the bangs from. All right, now here we go. We have a good section right in through here, a good amount of hair. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually work this in. And what I want to do is I want to take some subsections, because this is pretty thick. This is a pretty thick amount of hair. And we're going to twist this up, and we're actually going to clip this out of the way. We're going to clip this out of the way. So this is what we got going on right here. This is what it looks like. All right? See that triangle right there? That's what it looks like. Now, how are we going to cut this? We're going to cut it with hair cutting shears. Now, we're going to take our fingers, all right, and we have to establish our length. All right, and establishing the length is really the whole key to this whole thing. And here is the whole catch to this whole thing. We're going to cut this with a razor. So we're going to cut them a little bit longer, and we're going to cut them with the razor. All right, so ready? We're going to start in a corner, and we're going to just simply work our way towards the other side, just like that. We're looking to create wispy, soft bangs or a soft fringe. All right, we want that kind of, I don't want to say uneven, but we want that textured, soft look. Comb this down, and there we go. So we have a couple little pieces, which is fine. Now we're going to take this subsection right here, and we're going to comb this all straight down this way. There's our guide from before, right underneath, and we're going to slide our way down that way. We're looking to create a very wispy, piecey fringe area, but very, very heavy. All right, it's a very heavy, wispy fringe. We'll comb this down into here, comb this side down into here, and this is what we have so far. Now what we're going to do is we are going to thin out the bangs. We're going to thin out this whole area right in through here. Now, a lot of times when we're cutting the bangs, some people might say, oh, it feels too long, it feels too heavy. Don't worry about that. This whole look is supposed to be on the longer side. And a lot of times when you're cutting clients, you cut them perfect and they're like, just cut them a little bit shorter. Just say, no, this look, it might feel like it's in your eyes, or it might look like it's in your eyes. Don't worry about it, okay? Now, I'm coming in with the thinning shear, all right? And this is where we're gonna remove some of that weight. So let's lower the head down this way so you can see the layering, and turn this way. So we're coming right down in the middle, right through here. Here's where we have to cut. And what we're doing is we're simply just cutting this off to remove that excess weight. Essentially, we're layering this, but with thinning shears, because we really, really want these to be super textured and super light. So we're removing that weight. Same thing on this side. We're removing the excess weight in through here, and there we go. Lastly, what I'll do is I'll take this whole section right here, hold it straight up, let all that hair fall down in the front like that, and then I'm going to remove the excess bulk right here, because I really want these to be like pretty wispy and very like loose and kind of like playful and messy. Now we'll go in this way from underneath, and again soften them up like this. So we're creating a lot of texture in through these bangs, right in through here. This is what makes the whole thing fun, creating a lot of texture, which means you know, you can wear it over like that. And you see how it's creating that like soft, loose, messy kind of fun vibe, all right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the thinning shear and I'm just going to kind of come over the top and add a little bit of softness right in through this area. This is a little bit of a trick right here. It's just right in that front to kind of create a softer little fringe blend right in through here. So we're just using the thinning shears right in this very front area to create a little bit of texture and softness to the entire haircut right there. And you see what that's doing? It's just adding that extra little playful kind of look. And if you wanted to really remove more weight, just come in like this with the thinning shear and just take out some of the weight right throughout the top layer. Only do this if the hair is really, really thick. But what this is doing, it's adding so much volume and so much added texture and shape to the whole thing. All right, once you have that solid base, then you're good to go. And look at all that hair that just came out. This again is for someone who's got really, really thick hair. Let's bring the head back up this way. And here we go. We can wear this super straight, super sleek. If you want to wear it very sleek and smooth, you can do that. All right, we've got that full kind of fringe area like this. You can even put your hair up or wear it back on a little bit of a little clip, and you can work the bangs down this way just to create like a fun shattered type fringe. You can go over this way too. That's what's great about this whole thing. You can actually, even if you want to, you can have this down even here if you want. Now, it might not be necessarily like a fringe or a bang, but what's going to do, it's going to create a different type of softer look, okay? But keeping this triangular shape in through here is just creating that like fun look, all right? That really, really fun, soft look. I've been seeing some celebrities wearing it. You know, I think the fringe is going to be pretty big in 2017. And let's now blow dry it. All right, product-wise, I'm going with Tidal Wave, which is my sea salt spray. It's a light sea salt spray. Adds a little bit of volume to the hair, light hold, and heat protectant. And then my newest product is Support Cream. I'm telling you, especially if you're a salon owner and you're looking for a product to carry that is literally life-changing, this is it right here. And the reason I called it Support Cream and the whole concept behind this is, as a professional stylist myself, I want something that's going to help support the hairstyle while I'm blow drying it. And what this does is it helps, you know, smooth the hair a little bit, but it actually supports the style by creating very light hold, workability, manageability. It's got great, really healthy ingredients in the product that are good for your hair. But what this really does is it supports the style. It supports the blow dry. It helps thicken the hair. It brings the hair together when you're blow drying it to really lock that style in. So Support Cream literally is a lifesaver. It sells out every single week in the salon, and it's unbelievable, this stuff. So if you're a professional hairstylist, salon owner, I would definitely suggest ordering this to check it out. And if you're a client, definitely check this out, male or female. So now we're going to actually blow dry it. So depending on the look that you want, you can really blow dry this to make it full and like a lot of volume to it, where everything is just really, really big in through here. Big hair, you can get big hair with this, or you can go really sleek, kind of that mod type goth look where everything is really, really sleek to the head and very polished. So I'm gonna go kind of in between to create like nice volume, but also keeping it really smooth. The first thing that I like to do, and I apologize if let's just lower this a little bit. I like to work on the fringe area first, especially for hair like this, where I like to really, really work this down this way. And you can come with the brush underneath and blow dry on top of it. And you might see some longer pieces that, that's fine. If you see some longer hairs, you can always go back in and get rid of those. But I always like to start with the front first for this type of haircut. And I like to also blow dry the hair both ways because it helps kind of move the fringe around, and it makes it easier for you when styling, believe it or not, because it means you can then move the bangs around, no problem. You can really work them in and have that flexibility. And sometimes just using no hands, just the blow dryer is really going to be good. And this is the H3000 from Hair Art Products. This is super lightweight, probably the lightest hair dryer I've ever felt. It's actually good for your hair because of the technology. It doesn't damage or fry your hair. So beyond the heat protecting agents, you need a good blow dryer. All right, you need a really good blow dryer for this. So as you can see, I'm literally still working on this the whole bang area right in through here. And I'm working this down with the blow dryer. Literally working the shape in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough dry it a little bit. And the key to drying the hair is that, I always like to say your hands are your best tool. What you don't want to do is literally go in and shake it all over the place that the hair is flying and turning into a big rat's nest. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is use your hands to really manipulate the hair into the style. And as you can see with what I'm doing, I'm literally just kind of working my hands down into the style and working it into the haircut instead of making a big frizzy mess. All right, you don't want a big frizzy mess. Your client doesn't want a big frizzy mess. That's only in my hair. My hair, I get the frizzy messes. All right, I'm using my fingers here as kind of like a brush. So I'm extending my fingers down this way to really soften that and smooth it in. And then once I feel it's pretty dry, there's a few different ways you can wear this. All right, let's spin the hair. Look at this. This is very wild, fun, kind of like that beachy, like rocker look. Like, this is totally cool. You can totally rock this if you want to. I mean, a fun, kind of like textured, really cool look, but I want to go in and smooth it out a little bit more. So what I like to do is I'm going to take the brush. This is a round brush right here. And it's a ceramic brush, and I'm just going to, which is good for the hair. I'm going to blow dry all this hair forward. All right, I want everything coming forward towards the face because I really want that sleek kind of look, but with volume. And I think by blowing it towards the face, it kind of like wraps it around the face, so it really helps smooth out the whole entire hair strand. So what I like to do is have the client push the head down a little bit, and now we're going to start blow drying in the back. So I will use the brush and the blow dryer to smooth out the back a little bit, and then I will sometimes get the hair out of the way and use no clips. So literally what I'm doing is I'm going in, using a blow dryer, locking it in. I'm not looking to create to go underneath like a really kind of outdated shape. I'm looking more for like a texture type shape. So instead of turning it under and beveling it, you can blow dry it straight down. Like that, blow drying it straight down. And we're going to do this throughout the entire back and the sides. And what the products are doing is they're literally locking in the style. The products are adding heat protection. They are giving me some support, giving me some volume, and very easy to work with. And you can use, just support cream alone if you want. You can even mix it with like Plush, a smoothing serum that I have if you want to make it, a little smoother. Okay, now we're going to take another section in the back. And the reason why I don't really like to use clips, sometimes I do, depending on the hair length, but honestly, it's because I can work through the hair much quicker. I can work through the whole hair much quicker and get the job done faster. So you really want to be able to navigate through the hair really fast and very efficiently. And look, it's creating a beautiful shape. So push the hair out of the way and blow dry it. Sometimes I see people, it takes them 45 minutes just to clip the hair up. And that's fine in the beginning, but once you learn how to manipulate the hair and work it, then it becomes a whole different thing. So I'm going to continue to blow dry this in the same manner, working towards the front. Let me just show you guys the front real quick here so you see what I'm talking about. Push this hair out of the way. Use your blow dryer and the brush to manipulate the hair out of your way. And then we're going to come in this way, lock in the brush, lock in the blow dryer, and work the hair straight down. And what the support cream is doing is supporting the style by giving me just enough hold, just enough balance and control. There it is. You can turn under a little bit, but when we get to that very end there, bring it straight down like that. Okay? So let's finish this up and then we'll come back when we're done. Okay, so now the haircut's complete, and what I want to do now is get the head balanced and straight. I didn't apply any sort of finishing product or anything. You could go over the smoothing iron if you want, totally up to you. But now let's go and kind of reshatter the shape up a little bit and look for any like longer pieces that may need to be cut. And honestly, there really aren't, which is a good thing. But if there is, you can simply do some slide cutting like this to just really help soften up the shape. Slide cutting really works well, especially when the hair is finished and dry. But you really want to emphasize right into the front here. That's really the main part of where you want to do any sort of slide cutting or texturizing, is right in throughout the front. Maybe a little bit in the back, but remember we did that already. And again, we're cutting to create, we're cutting for it to grow out really, really well. So here's one variation of the shape, which is just wild, it's fun, it's sexy, it's cute. It's something that like anyone can wear just to kind of like add a little bit of like that kind of rocker chic look. And look at all that volume. Look at that. See all the volume we're getting between the product, between, the way the cut, everything. It's creating that volume. I particularly like kind of a happy medium where everything is just a little more kind of soft and fun. You could take this one side and you can tuck it behind the ear if you wanted to create like a nice soft, fun look. You can do both sides behind the ear. You can make it really, really sleek, which is nice, a nice, more sleek look. I like kind of like that in-between look like this. And then also, I love bangs, but I like when they're just a little more shattered and a little more kind of textured like that, just a little bit to really soften it up. And I think it's going to be a great look and trend for 2017. Okay guys, I really hope you enjoyed this in-depth tutorial. Please share it. If you're a hairstylist, let me know if there's one thing you took away from this haircut. And if you're looking to get your haircut by me, I get like loads and loads of people that want their haircut. You can email me down below, or you can email me through my Contact Us page, steven@TheSalonGuy.com. I'm located in New Jersey, and I'm $150 for women's haircuts. So I would love to see you if you're looking for something like this. And my products are available, TheSalonGuy.com/shop. Hope you all enjoyed this. Please subscribe and leave your comments below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for more videos with The Salon Guy.